Ah, Kansas summer. Warm sunshine, fields of gold. Life's pretty good right about now. Nothing could ruin this. Ow! I was hoping that was just dust in the wind. Hey there, Gregor Eblan coming back at you with another commentary. Today we're looking at DustinMakesVids, or as I'll be calling him throughout the rest of the video, Dustin. Dustin is somewhat of a polarizing figure in the commentary community, or CC, and has been embroiled in controversy around Imagegate. That being said, we're looking at a video that does not involve that controversy. Today we're looking at excuses thy name is Joshua. Wait, that avatar. That name. Did I just fucking wander into the Joshua Tree territory? I thought that fucker was burned down. Wait, this isn't the Joshua Tree. It's something else. I apologize, my dear viewers. I don't mean to keep you lost. Let me try and sum this up as quickly as I can. Dustin is covering a rather infamous commentator known as Joshua Colbyhouse, or Joshua8428, whose channel now goes by Joshua Pony, whom I will refer to as Joshua. Joshua has been active in the commentary community since 2010, and has been on-again, off-again cycle of being a bandwagon, culminating in what is known as the Joshua Tree, one if not the largest commentary chain ever. I'll be linking his entry in the CC Wiki, as trying to condense his entire history into an intro would drive me mad. Suffice to say, he's not looked fondly upon by the CC. Oh, we're not done though. Folks, this is a comception, as we also have Natai, also known as Jay Foxwell, in the mix. Foxwell, as I'll be calling him, is a commentator who is active in the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fandom. Okay, how the fuck did this all start? Joshua made a 3-second video agreeing with Lily Pete, who goes by Lily Orchard now, a controversial member of the Brony analysis community, on her Glass of Water Inferno video. Foxwell did a one-shot on it, which Joshua responded to with a comment. Foxwell then did a quickie com over the comment, which spawned Joshua's quickie com on Foxwell, which leads us to Dustin. Dustin is my primary target, but I will also be hitting Joshua's video as well. So you know what this means? I get to break out the green markers! Alright, let's jump in.
Oh, Joshua, you've come a very long ways. You were once the commentary community's punching bag, now you're just a laughingstock, which is kind of a downgrade, to be quite honest. But nevertheless, I'm doing a commentary on Joshua8428, or Joshua Colbyhouse. To make a long story short, Joshua makes a video on someone, he gets called out for it, he does a response, and Foxy decides to do a joke one-shot on him, which of course Joshua takes seriously because he's Joshua. Foxy makes a video responding to Joshua's comments, and here we are now. So, let's hear what Joshua has to say.
Before we hear what Joshua has to say, we have some issues to address. Dustin, who did Joshua do a video on? Who the fuck is Foxy? Are we playing Five Nights at Freddy's? I don't deal with horror games too well. I poo easily. My incontinence aside, I do want you to keep in mind that Dustin isn't providing much context as to what is going on in this chain. It's your favorite CC trope. It's going to be important later.
Well, it's time to check for commentary material. Huh? A video on me? And it's recent enough? Better check it out.
Oh my god. Sounds like somebody had quite the masturbation session there.
Yes, I admit it. I had a glorious masturbation session. I have no shame. Oh, you were talking about Joshua's acting? Forget I said anything. Actually, hold on. One of the major criticisms against Joshua was his monotone voice and lack of emotion. Here, he is actually trying to show emotion by panting hard, as if he just let out a burst of rage and is trying to calm himself. Granted, you could argue it's poorly done, with the footage after the one viewing later card just showing him panting and his background not showing any damage, as if he just went incredible dork on us, but instead you go, lol, masturbation, and leave it at that.
I should be calm enough to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Natai. Someone who does commentary on people involved with drama. Basically, the FNGR of the commentary community.
Okay, I'm lost here. What does FNGR even mean? Like, seriously, when you imply that he is the FNGR of the commentary community, what are you actually saying here? And you also state that he's someone who does commentaries on people involved with drama. Like, could you give us any examples? Like, could you tell us some of the people that he's covered, or some of the drama that he's covered? Instead, you say, oh, he's just someone who commentates on people involved in drama. Which, in all honesty, that can imply to any commentator in the commentary community.
Shit, it's later already? I was just about to have another glorious session. Thanks, Dustin. Your cock block in my hand. As I alluded to earlier, Dustin didn't provide context to who Joshua did his original video on, Lily Orchard in case you forgot, and called Foxwell Foxy. And here he is getting on to Joshua for not elaborating on who FNGR is. For my viewers, allow me to fill you in. FNGR is the abbreviation of the user for no good reason, who also goes by Fanon Frenzy. He is a member of the Brony analysis community who tends to report on drama going on inside of the community by people such as Lily Orchard, Josh Scorcher, who is a prominent member of the Brony community, and Toon Critic, a former member of the community who was ousted after it came out he was a child predator. The less said about him, the better. Now Dustin, I know hypocrisy doesn't make you wrong, but when you get on to Joshua's case for not elaborating and then go, who is that? I don't fucking know, you're still leaving your audience in the dark. Remember, by watching your commentary, they're also watching Joshua's video. And if you don't explain, well, then you're no better than Joshua in this situation, are you? Oh, and if you come at me with, well, my audience knows who's FNGR is, I will ask, how do you know that Joshua's audience doesn't? Joshua is a brony and has been a member of the CC for about 8 years now. Granted, that doesn't make his flaws all the more glaring. He would share in this niche audience, and if your audience would know, why wouldn't his?
He basically uses the just kidding lol cause as an excuse to get away from criticism, has a really small computer screen, basically crushed really with issues regarding with our target, and is today's victim.
Okay, nothing you said in that entire statement made any sense. So I'm gonna go through everything you just said, and I gotta give you this much. I'm glad that you actually put text in your videos, because that kind of does help me understand what you're saying, which has always been an issue in your commentaries. But nevertheless, let's just go through what you had to say here. So your first statement was that he basically uses the just kidding lol card as an excuse to get away from criticism. Okay, like, what does that even mean? Like, you don't even bother giving us any examples of this at all? You just expect us to take your word for it?
Like you're one to talk, Mr. Call Foxwell Foxy. Alright, let's address this. What does Joshua mean by the just kidding lol card? You're fucking with me right now. Like, legit, you have to be fucking with me. I refuse to believe you are this dumb. If you use logical reasoning, what Joshua meant is that when Foxwell receives criticism or backlash, he will say it's just a joke, a la it's just a prank bro, to deflect it. I do agree Joshua should provide some sort of evidence to back up his claim, but what he means is pretty well spelled out without it.
You go on to say that he has a really small computer screen. What does that have to do with anything, Joshua? And then you say that he basically clashed with Lily. I don't know who that is. And you say that he has issues regarding with her target. Okay, who's her target? Like, who is she going after? Like, you don't give us any of the specifics here. Like, who is Lily and who was her target? Who was she commentating on? Or is she even a commentator? Like, seriously, who the fuck is Lily? Like, you're not even painting a clear picture here. You just expect us to know who this person is, and you never give us any specific details. And seriously, you're going to use the term victim? What the fuck is this, a murder case?
See my previous point about not elaborating who people are for your audience. As for the small screen point, Joshua will elaborate this in the future, but I do agree it's out of nowhere. Joshua, if you are watching this, first, thanks for watching, and second, perhaps make a note to your audience that you're going to expand on this point later, as right now it just feels like this is a random complaint. Dustin, get back here. I'm not done with you for this interjection. Are you really getting onto him for the term victim? I know the more common colloquial term is target, but this seems like a very minor thing to jump onto Joshua for. Hell, when commentators find a video, we most often say we're going to hit it, and I'm gonna hit you if you keep this shit up.
Well, it was pointless to say I agree with Willie. I'm just going to focus on his arguments.
Oh boy, you know this is gonna be a good sign when Joshua's being one-sided here.
How is Joshua being one-sided in this instance? He in fact agreed with one of Foxwell's complaints, that being his original video was pointless. He simply stated that he would be focusing on Foxwell's arguments, which does not, in and of itself, imply he's being one-sided. Also, commentaries are essentially debates. There are going to be times when you have to pick a side, as you are arguing over issues. Are you implying that commentators are wrong for doing so? Don't make me actually hit you, Dustin.
Greetings, viewers, and welcome back to Courtroom Commentaries. That one series of videos I do that doesn't have a consistent arrangement of the title. Last Friday, I did a Foxy one-shot video on Joshua Kofi House, who did a response video to Lily Pete's Inferno video. If you could tell from the build-up, that was meant to be a joke video.
And the build-up is pointless, as you had to explain the joke.
I don't think it would have been pointless, considering that people like you would obviously take his joke out of context anyway.
If you let the tree named after me, that probably would have been satisfying. Remember, context your best friend.
Irony, thy name is Joshua 8428. God damn.
Okay, couple of points I want to address here. Dustin, how did Joshua take Foxwell's joke out of context? Call this bad wording on your part, but I believe you meant went over his head, as Foxwell's one-shot started with him giving a brief summary of who Joshua is, then getting hopeful as he watches the video, only to be utterly dashed from Joshua's video. I will say this, Foxwell, you let the build-up go a bit too long, Joshua, you missed the point of the joke, and Dustin, you suck at wording. Also, because I know Master TP10, a well-respected commentator with a love of Mimi from Digimon and a stickler for using irony correctly, would kill me if I didn't mention this, that is not irony. Irony is a state of affairs that is the reverse of what is to be expected, a result opposite to and in mockery of the appropriate result. Allow me to read you a passage from the late, great George Carlin's book, Brain Droppings, where I also nabbed the definition. Page 116. If a diabetic on his way to buy insulin is killed by a runaway truck, he is the victim of an accident. If that truck is delivering sugar, he is the victim of an oddly poetic coincidence. But if the truck is delivering insulin, then that is ironic. What Joshua is doing isn't ironic, it's hypocritical.
From the context I was getting from you, you were just one of those people who wanted this because I am an easy target.
And that's the same argument you always use, Joshua. That's my problem with you. When someone criticizes you, you want to use the victim card here. Oh, I'm an easy target. That's why you went after me. No, Joshua, because people disagree with what you have to say, and that's why they went after you. Not because they thought you were an easy target. And even after all these years that people have criticized you, made fun of you, fucking ridiculed you, you have not learned a damn thing. All you want to do is just make excuses instead of being a man and accepting criticism.
The vast bulk of the Joshua tree would disagree with you, Dustin. In her video setting fire to the Joshua tree, Dual Tones, one of the largest commentators in the CC, mentioned that a good chunk of those involved did not try because they were covering Joshua.
Mediocre commentators seeing someone considered an easy topic and decide to cover them, then decide to not try while covering them because they think easy means they're always right.
I'll link her video in the description. Now, I do not agree with Joshua that Foxwell did this simply because he was an easy target, as Foxwell's one-shot was meant to be for shits and giggles, and he did take Joshua's comment on it seriously. But it is rather easy to see why Joshua might think this is the case, as one glance at his discussion page will clearly show. Also, care to show some evidence that Joshua uses the fact that he's an easy target as a crutch? Screenshots? Video clips? Fucking hell, Dustin. I get it. Joshua has over 500 videos on his channel, but if you're gonna make the claim that he said something, you need to show it. Also, the point of him not learning a damn thing? I can kinda give you that one somewhat. He has done things to improve his presentation, such as adding subtitles to his videos and having a background. However, Joshua, if I can address you for a moment, you tend to revert after receiving and applying criticism given to you. For instance, in your commentary on Felicia Fan, another commentator who has a hate boner for Velicify, an infamous PokeTuber, you did have solid points, and you did link the source video in the description, albeit you did let the source video play out a bit too much without speeding it up, but details. Compare that to now, where you're grasping at straws, having jokes go over your head, and not linking the original video. Or hell, Lily's video in your first video in this mess. I do not know what causes this, but you cannot go back to the way you were pre-criticism and expect people not to notice.
I know that's the joke, but it's easy to see why they would like this video. Because people would see this blind enough to not know what the context is.
And the same can be said about this video, Joshua. You failed to give us any clear context as to who you're talking about, what the subject matter is about, or anything. And plus, how do you know that people would be blind enough to not know? I mean, if they're given enough context to the point where they understand what's going on, then that wouldn't make them blind, now would it? But here's the thing you seem to forget, Joshua. People have different perspectives. Not everyone is going to understand context the same way.
All this blind talk makes me feel like I'm being attacked. I still have one eye, fuckers. I can see your bullshit. Dustin, the point I wish to address here is your last one. How, pray tell, is context viewed differently? Context is what we use to get a full understanding of a situation. It's how we know what's going on. What you're saying is asinine. If people are seeing context and arriving at different conclusions, that's called perspective, as you said before. Joshua, if you feel Foxwell's cutting out context, it's your job to show it and prove him wrong. You've made this difficult on your fans, as in both your response to Foxwell and the original 3-second video that started this fuckfest. You didn't link the source video, meaning they would have to do a lot of legwork to find the context. Now I'll be skipping over the next 2 points, broken clocks and blind squirrels, you know. The only thing I could address to Dustin is when Joshua's text covers up Foxwell's text, perhaps splice in a screenshot of Foxwell's video like so. but that's minor, so skip.
Be gone, fuck!
When referring to this person, Lily Pete. And then he goes on to say this: I blame the transgender thing happening as soon as I knew her as a guy, as well as her voice. What does that have to do with anything, Joshua? If she wants to be referred to as a female, then you use the correct pronoun. It doesn't matter whether or not you knew this person as a male. You show some fucking respect and you refer to them as the gender that they want to be. But what the fuck am I saying? You don't even know what respect is, Joshua.
Yeah, keep this attack on Joshua in mind. It's about to become relevant and real soon.
And the subtitles are a chore for me to read since the font is so thin and the words are so small.
The text isn't that small, say about size 50. I think you might have either depth perception or small screen.
Really, Joshua? You're gonna resort to using an ad hominem? Like, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? People are pointing out some of the problems with your videos, and all you do is you blame them for it. Seriously, typical Joshua 8428 here, people.
Why, hello, double standard. You're looking mighty fine today. So, Dustin, why is it okay for you to attack Joshua's character, but when he makes what is at worst a pot shot on Foxwell's eyesight, you decry him for using an ad hominem? Might I add this isn't even an ad hominem? I watched Joshua's Glass of Estus, and while the text was slightly on the small side, it wasn't as hard to read as Foxwell makes it out to be. Fuck, maybe Officer Hops didn't feed Foxwell his daily carrots. Or it could be that Foxwell does have a small screen. I told you he was going to expand on that point, which would explain why he had trouble reading it. I'm not aware of the size of Foxwell's monitor, but I was able to read the text just fine on my laptop. Foxwell is exaggerating the issue.
However, my script reader did point out that the outline of the text might have some issues. And look at them now. So half decent point.
You know what? I'm actually surprised here that you're actually using a script. That's surprising to me. But so far, none of your points show any validity to them.
Oof, couple things. First, let's start with Joshua. Joshua, I do see that you made your outline thicker in this video, which actually makes it harder to read, as it muddies the words. You might want to use a larger font size or a different typeface, something I learned after my first com. Rest in spaghetti, Celtic narrow. Dustin, I'll give you a pass for the guy with one eye noticing this, as it was a small change. However, what I cannot let slide is your shock that Joshua uses a script. He's not stumbling over his words or ahhing, so it's obvious he is using a script. Did you forget bad commentaries use scripts too? Also,
Now I'm gonna skip some of this because Joshua doesn't really say anything else until near the end of the video. So I'm just gonna jump ahead a little bit.
oi, what did you skip to in the fucking video? Did you cut something out? No, I checked you didn't, but perhaps when you are skipping, let people know where you are skipping to, like a timestamp in the original video or something, as this has come off as shady editing on your part.
Way to go by your logic, Joshua. Everyone who has criticized Lily in a video format has a hate boner for her. And this would include Josh Scorcher, Bob
Yeah,
Menders,
Dustin, hi. I know you're not coming back for a bit, but why the fuck are you not getting on the Foxwell's case for listing all these people without explanation? The fuck is a mango comment? Can I eat it?
You have done commentaries and video responses on Lily. You see what I mean, right? If you're going to say I do videos on Lily because I hate her, then the same thing would be said about anyone who's done a video on her.
But seriously, if you were being serious, why have the same tone? Do you also know the difference between my joke and your one-shot joke? Text is usually hard to tell whether or not you're being serious.
Joshua, what does that have to do with anything? Bottom line is this, he did a one-shot on you, he was joking, you took it seriously, and now you're trying to twist this around to avoid any ridicule. Joshua, anata wa genzinsha.
Get your moon language out of my America. Also, how was he twisting it around? Foxwell maintained the same tone throughout the one-shot, and he let the build-up play out a bit too long, as I have stated before. Granted, I still believe Joshua let the joke fly over his head, but he is showing an example of how changing your tone can change the message you are trying to convey.
You see something like this, which may sound like an insult or a joke, don't take it seriously.
The use of words expressing something other than their literal intention. Now that is irony.
Bender is wrong, you're wrong for playing this clip, it's still not fucking irony. Joshua is being hypocritical as he took Foxwell's joke one-shot way too fucking seriously, and is now telling him not to take a joke seriously. I'm calling the video here. The rest is him giving some decent points, a mocking of Joshua when he says he's a comedian, which I found to be in poor taste, and final thoughts. Roll the theme of Payon, it's time for my final thoughts. How did we get here? How did a 3-second video spawn this chain? It boggles my mind that when I came across this video, it was a 3-degree chain. on this branch. Mr. A, another commentator, also did a commentary on Joshua's quickie on Foxwell, which I watched and found to be good. The point I'm getting at is that this is the roots of another Joshua tree. No one wants that. Joshua, you don't want that. Joshua, I want to start with you, as I'm not sure what more I can say that hasn't already been said. You seem to be regressing in your commentaries, and let's be honest here, this whole mess started because you took a joke seriously and didn't want to admit it. You're not linking source material even when it's vital to what you're going on about, and you seem to be driven by emotion rather than logic or facts. My advice to you is go back and rewatch Duel's video on burning the Joshua tree, or other videos giving you actual critique. No one wants to see you slip back into being a bandwagon, or spawning another massive chain of commentaries, and try not to do commentaries out of emotion alone. I'm not going to tell you to quit, as you have shown you can improve yourself in the past, but you need to keep working at it. Dustin, do you know why I hit your video instead of Mr. A's? It's because Mr. A actually tried, and was actually good, but details. You fell into the same trap that claimed a number of those who commented on Joshua in the past. You didn't try, because it's Joshua. From getting on to Joshua while doing the same things you criticize him for not providing context, hell, you even let Foxwell get away with it when he did it in this video, to attacking Joshua as a person multiple times and then railing against him when you perceive him attacking Foxwell. My advice to you is simple. Try. I don't care who you're covering, you need to actually try when making commentaries, otherwise, shit like this happens. I'm Gregor Eblan. I'll see you all next time. Now that we're at the end, I'd like to give a special thanks to Luxray Warrior on Twitter for drawing this piece of fan art for me. I love it so much, it's awesome. Thank you again.